All right, welcome back to another video. Today we're going over emotional capital in trading. So in trading, there's about five zones, states you can be in. These zones and states, depending on how you feel, will basically make you a good trader or not. You have to learn how to get out of them or know when they are happening. So the first state is the neutral zone. The neutral zone is basically the ideal state you want to be in. You trust your strategy, you see the charts clearly. Basically, you're executing trades without any fear. There's no rush. And this is a state you want to be in at all times, but we all know this is not the easiest way. It is not the easiest state to stay in at all time. We are human. Sometimes we feel emotions. And here is the second state you could fall in. The second state is the euphoric state. Basically, the euphoric state comes after a winning streak. You're like, let's say you won 2, 3 trades in a row, your confidence grows so much, and you think you're unbeatable. You will have that feeling inside you of having a really big ego that you think you can't lose, and you can be very overconfident, which makes you blind to potential risk in the market, and you could potentially be careless. And feeling those emotions is not something you can prevent, but taking action on them is the real issue. So which leads us to our third emotional state we go in, and which is the euphoric tilt zone. So the euphoric tilt zone is you having those euphoric emotions, like not thinking you can't lose, but you also act on them and you go tilt mode. So basically, you lose all of your discipline. You stop respecting your plan. You're not able to keep your ego in check. The winners you accumulated during those winning streak, you give them back to the market, and you know how much that sucks, right? Because you lose all the money you made, and you feel like you're going back behind. And basically, the emotional impacts of losses during the euphoric state, like it's devastating. It makes you angry. You're feeling regret. You're feeling shame. It's like you almost had it all and it just slipped out of your hand, just because you couldn't, just because you got overconfident and weren't able to keep your ego in check. At least, at least you know the reason. And if you're able to, whenever you feel those emotions, you should be able to calm down and go back to neutral state instead of going to the tilt state. All right, let's say you haven't been able to stop and you kept losing and losing and losing, gave back all your winners, and now you're in a losing streak. Which leads us to the fourth state you can be in, which is the fearful state. The fearful state, basically, it happens when you're in a losing streak. You start feeling the fear inside you. You start doubting yourself. You're like paralyzed if you should take profits or you should take a trade or not. And all these emotions are running around your head. You start losing your own confidence. You start looking for other strategies. You start believing in the strategy that you back tested, even though it was profitable. And this is usually when people start strategy hopping. It's normal for people to feel those feelings when they are losing streak, but again, you can always go back to number one, the neutral state, if you just calm down, recognize those feelings, and are able to control your fear. Just go back to state number one. But not like we all know, we all did it. It's really hard to maintain. So you go into the fifth zone, which is the fearful tilt zone, and you let those fearful doubts and emotions take over. Well, we all know what that is. So after losing streak, you're so frustrated, you give back profits. Then you start revenge trading. You're trying to make back your profits. You abandon every plan, every risk management. You overtrade, and you become all emotional, and basically you dig yourself into a deeper hole and deeper losses until you probably will blow your account. If you don't, hopefully you have a daily stop limit. But it's hard to not it's hard to not over leverage when you are in a losing streak, because you just want to recover all those losses you just had maybe an hour ago. Maybe you're up 10% and now you're minus 5%. This is something that every trader goes through. It's a whole cycle in the end of the day. But yeah, basically you go into the cycle of doom. The cycle of doom is, let's say you buy a prop from challenge, you're in a neutral state, like you're doing good, you take your trades the way you're supposed to take them. You start winning here and there, but you become overconfident. When you become overconfident, you start taking trades out of you started being greedy, taking trades out of your plan. So then you become euphoric tilt mode. Then when you become euphoric tilt mode, you start losing all the profits you made. That's when you become fearful. When you become fearful, all the fear and the anxiety creeps in. And when all the fear and anxiety creeps in, you start tilting, you revenge trade. And when you revenge trade, you eventually forget about all your plan and you blow your account. That is the five cycles of doom that you can be in. It's the it's the cycle of doom that every trader went through at least once, or many, many, many times. And if you're doing this over and over again and over again, and you're just blowing counts, even when you're winning, you think you got it, but then you're losing, I recommend going back to demo. I recommend meditating. I recommend journaling, not journaling your trades, but journaling your emotional, like an emotional journal. It's really gonna help you. At least from this video, you can kind of tell in which state you are once you're trading. I would write them down, I would write them on a piece of paper, or put it on your screen somewhere. Be like, okay, what's the emotional state I am in? If I'm in a euphoric state, how can I go back to a neutral state and not go into a tilt state? Because that little shift of mindset can either blow your account, or just keep being profitable, or just take a loss and be done for a day. Because if you're neutral state, you don't mind losing. Like it's not a big deal. It's part of the plan. But if you're in a fearful tilt mode and you lose in that mindset, it's not going to be possible for you to just accept the loss. It's the mindset is everything in trading. You kind of have to understand this, which state you are in to be a good trader. And hopefully this video kind of guided you through it. It's a short video. I'm feeling a little sick, so I just wanted to get this out there. If you want to trade with me, I have a school program that I trade Monday to Thursday. We all trade together live, 7 p.m. Asia session, and you can check it down below if you're interested. Other than that, stay safe out there, guys. It's not the best market conditions right now. Make sure to risk very low on every setup, because it's a lot of choppiness. But yeah, stay safe.